and you can ask me who's going to go in and do this. I don't know. I have no idea. This is in God's hands. He's got somebody when the time is right. And that's all I know.
Every time I hear it, because I've watched the videos probably 10 times over each, I love them. And for our viewers, I'll have it in the description below, but her YouTube channel is ronwyatt.com. Um, some of the things that I saw in there is just, it's amazing. I turned my mother on to the Ark of the Covenant video. She said when she was watching it the entire time, she was in tears, like tears of
Yeah.
joy because of
Right.
everything that she was learning. And it brought
Hmm.
her, in her own words, it brought her closer to God. So
Hmm.
all of this information's coming out for a reason. You're
Yes.
procuring it for a reason. Um, but I do have a few questions
Okay.
about it. Um, I heard, and I went down, on YouTube, tried to search it. I couldn't find it. It's still there.
Hmm.
It's probably buried in one of the interviews. Was there a time when he had found the ark? He knew it was the ark, but he was afraid to actually touch it because he heard stories in the Bible to where people were struck down dead. Did he pray before
Hmm.
actually touching the ark? Or tell me about that, if there's anything to that.
Yeah. He prayed about everything. He didn't do anything without praying.
Yeah.
I'm not, he didn't make a big show of it. He didn't get down on the floor and pray like this. No, he had a quiet relationship with God and he prayed about everything. And he, those same four angels that are in that cave, I forgot to mention this. They told Ron on that very first visit, they said, "We have been with the Ark of the Covenant ever since Moses had it made." So everyone who died by touching the Ark of the Covenant died at the hand of those angels. And he said that, of course, when he reached in and got the Ten Commandments, yes, he touched it. Was he afraid? He said, no. Uh, it was before, when it was in the temple, it couldn't be touched because of the power of God was dwelling on it. That was God's dwelling place. But then in Ezekiel saw the Shekinah glory leaving. There came a time when the people of Israel finally, you know, God said, your cup is full now. And he left. And so if God wanted someone to touch that, then as long, I'm sure they had to be someone that God approved of, someone who had prayed and asked forgiveness for all their sins. And of course, Ron did this in the course of his work the whole time because he said he felt so unworthy to be doing any of it. But he said he wasn't afraid. No.
Um, how many times would you say throughout all of his visits to the chamber, how many times do you think he actually visited it? And when was the last time, if you're able to share, that he visited it?
I really can't the last time, but I can
Okay.
tell you he didn't go in there that many times. He went in the chamber three times through the original entrance in the garden tomb. When I say original entrance, his original entrance. He only went in there three times. And I think he, I know of at least three times he went in the other way, through Zedekiah's cave. And I think that may be all.
Did you ever go into the chamber itself?
Oh, no, no. I went down into the dig, but no, no, nobody ever went into it. No one. Mm-mm.
And I can't remember the name of the person. We discussed it before. But there was a person, it was on another interview or another video that I saw, that they were claiming that they saw the tape and that this tape,
It's funny.
yeah, that
Mm-hmm.
this tape was in the hands of somebody and he didn't want to reveal for their
Mm-hmm.
safety. Has anybody other than Ron actually seen that tape?
No, no, Ron put it in there. And just for reference, Ron didn't even have a videotape when he went in the chamber. I mean, a video camera when the other times
Hmm.
he didn't even have one. He was so poor, and so that tape is still there. No,
And to your
no, we
knowledge,
heard that. Yeah, we'd heard that story before he died, and it's no,
it's
no, no,
fairy
no.
tales.
Oh, beyond fairy tales.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
saw your video, by the way, the CIA video. That was very interesting. I didn't know any of
Mm.
that. So watching
Huh.
that and hearing that was complete news to me, but very interesting of how much he actually got right. Um,
Yeah.
to get almost everything correct. Actually, I don't think there was anything in there that was wrong, was there? Was there any bit of
Well,
information?
there was some other stuff I didn't mention that wasn't exactly accurate. Hold on just a minute.
Sure.
Let me
Yep.
grab it. Let's see. I think it was when they said it was damp in the cave where it was, and it's not damp under there. Oh yeah, here they've got cool, cold wind sound, voices, open, things like that. Um, and they said silver that it they mentioned gold and silver, and the ark has no silver in it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't all completely accurate, but I kind of
Accurate
laughed.
enough.
Mhm. It was that, I mean, they definitely got some stuff
Yeah.
very right. Yeah.
And when
So
did they actually do that? Was that in
it was
1988?
it was December 5th, 1988. Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's
That's
before
amazing.
Ron ever knew about the angels. Because it said in there that there were entities that guarded it. Yeah.
That's
And
interesting.
Ron didn't know that at that time.
I think it was in the 1989 visit actually where things were going wrong, where
Yeah.
where he
Yeah.
had that encounter in the garden.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What I don't understand is, and maybe the scripture talks about it, I've never heard it, where he said to Ron that he was coming from South Africa, going to the
Mm-hmm.
new earth, I think.
Jerusalem.
What
New
is the
Jerusalem.
what is the significance of coming from South Africa?
We have no idea. We
That
don't
was
know.
very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just kind of curious of what the context of that is, but if we don't know, then yeah, we don't
We don't
know.
know. Yeah.
That's
That's all
very
he
strange.
said. Yeah.
Um, I did have a couple questions actually about well, it's right here, I think. Yeah. About my Mount Sinai.
Mm-hmm.
Because I watched the video where the gentleman he went there and he found all these new discoveries. He found where the gold was actually crushed into powder, which I thought was really cool. Um, and it backs up everything that the Bible had said. Um, where is oh, the water source that was supposedly coming down from Mount Sinai. Did Ron ever find the source of that, or did he ever look for it?
He never looked for it. No.
Okay.
No. And what's interesting is Saudi Arabia, God took them to a wilderness, which is a country that has no rivers and no lakes in that whole big old country. So it was, but in one of the Psalms, it talks about the brook that descended from the mount. And so you can see the pathway all the way up. You'd have to follow the path from the bottom of the mountain up to find out where it began. And that's an awful rough way to go.
And you've been there, right?
Yeah.
You've been to the rock that was split where
Hmm.
Moses. How tall would you say that thing is?
It, I thought it was about 60 feet. It's at least 60 feet.
It's
And
humongous.
it's huge. And it's on a mountain or a big hill that's probably
Hmm.
150 foot, 200 foot tall.
Oh, really?
It's big. Yeah. You've got to go a long ways to get up there.
And all of it, all around, you can actually see the evidence of the water going over the rocks and washing it all the way.
Yeah, it's not the whole thing. It's over when you're looking at it from the front, it's kind of over on the right-hand side. You can see where the water came out. There's a pathway. Hmm.
Now the chariot that were going across the Red Sea,
Hmm.
how far across do you know the furthest that they have actually found the chariots going to the other side? Did any of them actually were they close?
Well, yeah, they made the other side. Remember, the Bible says that they saw their dead bodies after they crossed. They saw
Right.
their dead bodies on the shore. And yes, there's chariot parts over there. When we were there last, when was that? October. Man that was with us went out and uh, he was able to go out quite a ways and it was still knee-high water. And he found a coral chariot wheel there. But then the Coast Guard came and made us get out. They don't allow you to go in the water there because they have a big drug problem.
Mm,
From Egypt, they float packages across. They'll drop them out in the middle of the Gulf where they will continue to float. And so it's very tough to be able to get in the water.
that must have been terrifying being the Jews, and they were that
Mm.
close. The chariots were right there, and then all that's amazing. That's just amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have any idea of about how many chariots were actually located? I mean, are we talking hundreds, thousands?
I don't know. Ron only didn't see hundreds. He saw, just enough to convince him,
Oh, okay.
maybe 10, something like that.
How many times did well, first off, did Ron ever go to the top of Mount Sinai?
No. Mm-mm,
Okay. Well, then
mm-mm.
that takes away
Yeah.
the other question. And then a
Yeah.
couple of questions about Noah's Ark. Since I
Okay.
got you here, I'll ask, I'll ask both
Okay.
not. Um, you've been to the Noah's Ark site, yes?
Oh, many times.
What was your impression
Mhm.
the first time you were there?
I remember it well. Uh, Overwhelming, overwhelming. It was so. I'm not a genius or anything, but it doesn't take a genius to recognize a shipwreck when you see one. And um, from a distance, you can tell. Now, when you get up close, it's so big, you can't see the detail that you can see from a distance. When I say detail, the amount of information that you can see from a distance. I didn't have any doubts. I didn't. Um, and I had just met Ron, but after, of course, having him to explain everything to me helped a lot.
How far away from the actual ark is the area where we believe that Noah and his family lived? It's not too far, is it?
That's probably maybe, I'm not sure, maybe 15 miles.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
It's within walking distance for sure.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I knew that there were graves there, and
Hmm.
if you don't mind, we'll go in a little bit about this about Noah's wife's grave site and
Hmm.
his grave site. Tell me a little bit
Hmm.
about that.
Well, the first day that Ron was there, um, he had no idea where to find the ark. But as they were coming into town, they had prayed that you know, for a sign to know where to start searching. And the taxi stalled 3 times. And they got out of the car and piled up rocks. And so the first pile of rocks was they took off walking um, at a 90-degree angle. And they came to this place, this old house, very old, crumbling, and next to it were 2 tombstones. And he had only remember those little 8 millimeter cameras that your parents would make films
Yep.
of you when you were little.
Yep.
That's all he had. No
So there's no
sound, no
sound.
nothing.
Yep.
Oh no, not only no sound, the quality, the negatives, are that
Hmm.
big. And so he filmed it with that. And um, it had both of these tombstones had a rainbow carved across of them.
Mm.
And then they had a little curly Q that represented a wave and then with a little simple ship. boat sitting on top of it. And walking away from it were 8 people. And these 8 people were the tallest. Then Noah, the next tallest would have been his wife. The next three tallest would have been his sons. And then the smallest three would have been his daughters-in-law. And so he um, he said on the first one, the one that was standing, the head of Noah was turned down this way, and his eye was an X, and his wife's was turned down this way, and her eye was an X. And he talked to people about it, and in iconographic representations, they said that probably represented, since it's a tombstone, it represented that this was the tomb of one of those two, or both of them died at the same time. But the next one, only Mrs. Noah's eyes were closed. So that meant she died first, and then Noah died. And so, yeah, he found that he never got back to it again because, um, well, he got robbed that first trip and they took everything. And he got away with, I think, five or four rolls of film, that 8 millimeter film. And that's all he had of that. And her grave was robbed in the early 80s after Ron mistakenly shared the information with someone. And so when they dug up her grave, since it's illegal to dig up graves in Turkey,
Mhm.
they busted up the tombstones
Yeah.
as well. So
And they were rather
mhm.
large, weren't they, the grave sites?
They were very large, yeah. Yeah, her sarcophagus was 18 foot long. That doesn't
Wow.
mean she was 18 foot long. That just
Right.
means that, but eh, we found some we found some bones, and she was probably at least twice as big as I am. I'm 5'7", 5'8". I would say she was more than that because we've got some of her finger bones, and next to mine, they would be like this,
Oh,
very,
wow.
very large. Yeah, very large. That's all that we were able to find. They got rid of everything else. And she was covered in jewels. And the way that Ron found out that it had been robbed was when Interpol called him in Tennessee and asked him if he knew anything about it. And so he told them he didn't, but that's when they said that it was full of jewelry. Yeah, said that she had uh, a bodice thing around here, a thing around the neck. Um, Golly, I forget everything else.
How did they
Headpiece,
know that?
Well, word gets out because it was sold on the black
Oh, okay.
market, and they got that information. And as they began to trace it, it led to a very important man in Turkey. And at that time, they dropped they weren't going to pursue it.
Hmm.
But Ron and I figured it had to be some Arabs that bought it. They're the only ones who could have afforded
Hmm.
$100 million, US dollars. So,
That's unfortunate, but God probably did that for a reason. It would probably just be
yeah,
stuff that would muck up the water for us.
yeah,
Probably bring up more
a
more
distraction.
problems. Yeah, distraction, exactly.
Hmm.
To your knowledge, have
Hmm.
there been any kind of LiDAR done of that area?
LiDAR, yeah. Let's see. Are you what do you mean LiDAR? I mean, we've done simple LiDAR,
Well, the
just
LiDAR that you
ourselves.
would like the LiDAR that you would
Mm,
need a plane for, or would you would need a drone for, anything like that?
no,
No.
no, I
Okay.
don't think so.
So it's all
Mm-mm.
just been
Don't
ground
need
level.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't need that. Boy, when we did those resistivity scans in 2014, that clinched everything.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. I think that's it as far as the questions that I have. And I know that the time's running out again because I got another notification. But
Okay.
Mary Nell, thank you so much for this. And with her permission, this is to my audience, I am going to, throughout this video, put in the clips of where Ron is actually talking and giving the explanation for what actually happened in his own words. And again, that is with Mary
Mm,
Nell's permission. So I'm not gonna
yes.
do any copywriting infringements. But I want to thank you so much, Mary, now
Oh,
for
you're
joining me
welcome.
for doing this. This has been a great honor, a great pleasure, and I would love to have you on again in the future and go over other things as well, if that's something that you're open to.
Sure. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. I'm kind of busy right now, but
Oh, yes.
yeah, we'll get it
I've seen that
later.
you've been putting out the videos, and I want to tell everybody
Hmm.
different places that they can find you. So you do have
Hmm.
the YouTube channel,
And
ronwyatt.com.
our website is ronwyatt.com. I work with Ron's daughter, Michelle.
Hmm.
The boys are both deceased now.
Are
So it's
they?
just, yes.
I did
And
not know that.
it's just Michelle and her husband and myself and my husband. And that's who we're working with. And sometimes other people will join us, but we're the ones. It's the Wyatt family, just me and Michelle
Okay.
and our husbands.
And you do have a couple of books, do you not?
Hmm.
And we can find those on Amazon, yes?
Well, no, one of them you can't.
Okay.
The Battle for the Firstborn, that was the hardest thing I ever did to write that because it was just hard. But come along COVID, I had all the time in the world. So go to Amazon and look up Battle for the Firstborn and read the reviews. God gave Ron information that no one could have ever figured out.
Okay.
I highly
Very good.
recommend it.
Yes, and I will put a link to everything down in the description below, and
Okay.
I will also put QR codes on the screen for people who want to look at that,
Awesome.
and also for your YouTube channel and as well as your website. Um,
Thank you.
thank you so much, Mary Nell. I do appreciate it.
Well, it's been an honor and a pleasure.
We'll talk to you later.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye.